The topic is lever safety valve. The lever safety valve, as the name indicates, it's a safety valve used in our steam boiler. If you just look at that figure, you'll find that steam pressure is developed inside the boiler. When the steam pressure exceeds the limiting range of the boiler, it should blow off. Otherwise, it becomes a hazardous problem for that particular boiler, or it is not a safe. So that's why such type of safety valves are mounted on the boiler. Now, if you just look at the figure, you will find that there is a W load which is created on the valve. The W load is in the safe zone if the boiler pressure is within the limit. The W load is, again, if you just see, there is a point A at the top of the wall, and there is a point B at which the weight P is kept. The AB point is connected to same fulcrum point at F. So FAB is the lever. Now, when the steam pressure is within the limit, W is very less. The vertical force which is created because of the steam pressure is less. By some means, the steam pressure inside the boiler increases to its limit, beyond its limit. Then what will happen? So W goes on increasing. As W goes on increasing, the counterbalance weight P is not that much sufficient to create a load to stop the wall. So at that time what will happen? The W exceeds and W will try to lift the wall. And when the wall is get lifted, there is a blow off of the steam, and excess pressure is released. When the excess pressure is released, obviously the pressure drops inside the boiler. When the pressure becomes within the limit, or when the fish pressure falls inside the boiler because of the blow by, the P work its uh, weight, and directly it pushes the lever again to its original position when W is within the limit. That means again there is automatic action, on and off action of this valve. There is no need of any manual interruption. So it's a very simple mechanism which is used to as a safety valve in our boilers. Now here we are interested in lever. So if you just look at the lever has three important points. At A, there is a load W. At B, there is a counter effort P. And at F, there is a fulcrum point. So one simple statement of the problem. A lever safety valve is 70 mm in diameter, and it is to be designed for the boiler blow off pressure of 1 Newton per mm square gauge. So there is a safety valve having 70 mm in diameter, and it is designed for boiler blow off pressure of 1 Newton per mm square. That means if the pressure inside the boiler goes beyond 1 Newton per mm square, it is expected that the wall is get lifted off and there is a blow off. of the steam. Design a suitable mild steel lever of cross section B equal to 40 using the following permissible stresses. Tensile stress 70 megapascal, shear stress 50 megapascal, bearing pressure intensity of 25 Newton per mm square is given. The pin is also made from mild steel and the distance from fulcrum to the weight of the lever is 880 mm and the distance from the fulcrum pin and the pin connected to the wall is 80 mm. So by understanding all this, it is very well understood by just you will find the figure. In this figure, it is given that there is a pressure of 1 Newton per mm square at the inside that wall. So on the wall seat, there is a pressure of 1 Newton per mm square having wall diameter as 70 mm. Now, there is a dimensions of levers are also given. So W is the load, F is the fulcrum point, P is the effort, B and T are the dimensions of cross section, rectangular cross section. 880 mm is the distance from fulcrum point to the point at effort P. 80 mm is the distance from fulcrum point to A. So this dimensions given here. Let's look at the given thing. There is a diameter D. Diameter D of that wall is given. There is a pressure P, steam pressure of 1 mm Newton per mm square. There is available stresses given and the stresses are. Now, if you just look at the bottom side of our figure, you will find that there is a pressure P which is acting on that diameter D. Because of that, W is created. That means pressure P is equal to load upon area of this wall. So it is a pressure, that's why pressure is equal to force upon area. Force is here W and diameter D pi by 4 capital D square is the area. So from that we can get the value of W. So try to get that. Now here W is the load and P is the pressure. So our pressure is equal to force divided by area. So W is equal to pi by 4 D square into P. So that gives amount of load at point of application of wall. So W is equal to pi by 470 square. 70 is the given diameter of the wall and 1 is the pressure. So 3850 Newton is the load acting at W. The reaction at fulcrum point we can find when we take the reaction at fulcrum point, we can get the moment which is created at the fulcrum point. So take moment about the fulcrum point so that we can have the equation between effort and the load. So if I take reaction at fulcrum point, so P is the effort multiplied by 880 distance from the fulcrum point, which is clockwise movement, whereas the W, which is in the upward direction at wall, which will create anti-clockwise movement. So W we know is 3850, which just now we have find out. So multiply by 80. So it becomes P equal to 308 into 10 power of 3 newtons. So that is the 308 into 10 power of 3 divided by 880. Then the P equal 350 newtons. So P effort at a distance of 880 from the fulcrum point is just 350. So now you can see here the W load is very high, 3850 Newton, whereas the effort required is very less. So to control the pressure inside that boiler, we need very less amount of force as compared to the load which is created because of the spring. That is the main application of our lever. Because of lever, we can control the steam pressure by using very small quantity of force. So this is our values of forces at W and forces at P. These forces obviously we are using for the design. Now, what is the reaction at fulcrum point? The reaction of fulcrum point we can find because there is a W which is load at the upward direction, P is the load at downward direction. That's why the reaction at fulcrum point is simply subtraction of these two. So 3850 minus 350. So 3500 Newton is the downward reaction at RF. Okay. Now let us go to the one by one, the pin design and the lever cross section. For that, first we'll go for the pin design. So now there is a pin at A and there is a pin at fulcrum point. So pin at A is having more diameter, so more force, which is equal to 3850 newtons. So that's why we'll take first design of pin. Okay. Design of pin. Pin is a cylindrical member. So cylindrical member which is having diameter dp and length lp. So when we say first the pin by crushing, because obviously it is a lever and there is a pin inside that point A. So there is a moment, because of that there is a crushing. So when we say about the crushing, so when the W force is acting on that, then there is a crushing. So crushing area of the pin is generally the diameter into length, dp into lp. Consider very the standard relationship that we can generally take. So length of the pin is equal to 1.25 times dp by standard relationship. That's why area under the crushing is equal to 1.25 dp square. So that area we know. If I take that area under the crushing and we put that in our crushing stress equation, the crushing stress equation that is given by our bearing pressure. Bearing pressure is given, so bearing pressure is nothing but crushing stress. So bearing pressure is equal to load upon area. Load at point A is 3850, and just now we find that the area is equal to 1.25 dp square. So if you put the pressure BP, that is bearing pressure value, which is given as 25, so bearing pressure is equal to load upon area. So from this we can find easily the dp. dp is equal to 11.1 mm, or we can round off to 12 mm. So if I know that dp, we can find length of the pin, which is equal to 15 mm. So this completes the failure of pin which is at point A, which is at directly below, directly on the above the load W. So again there may be chances that the pin may be like this. So this is the one more failure. So we already know that dp is equal to 12 mm and lp is equal to 15 mm. Shear stress in the pin is equal to force divided by area. So there is a double shear here. So twice failure can be possible. So that's why our shear stress is equal to load upon area. Load upon area, that means load is again 3850 and twice shear means 2 into pi by 4 dp square. We already know that dp is equal to 12 mm. So 2 into pi by 4, 12 square. So it comes out 17.02 megapascal. So induced stress tau is equal to 17.02 megapascal. So this induced stress by our known dimensions, which comes out from the crushing stress, is 17.02 megapascal. So this is the induced. That means from the diameter 12 mm and from the length 15 mm, we got only 17 megapascal stress induced. But the C value is very high. So that means our dimensions which comes out from the crushing are very safe. So the safe value of stress 50 megapascal is greater than the induced stress 17 megapascal. Design pin diameter is safe. Same diameter of pin is used at F. So one more thing is there. This pin is obviously subjected to wear. So that's why 2 mm thick copper or brass or gunmetal bush is also used to reduce the wear at pin position. So our diameter of the pin is 12 mm. So if I use 2 mm thick bush, then the diameter of the bush becomes 12 plus 4, so 16 mm. So there is a 16 mm bush, external diameter of 16 mm bush, which is made up from brass, gun or copper. So gunmetal or brass or phosphorus bronze, these metals are having property of self lubrication. That's why they reduces this particular material with lesser wear as compared to other. So that's why we must use this bushes inside that lever, so that whenever we need any maintenance, we can replace this bush. There is no need to replace complete lever. So that's why these bushes are kept inside this connection between pin and lever. So this completes our design of pin. Now when we see about the design of lever cross section, because lever is having only two components, lever and pin. Just now we have seen about the design of pin. So when we go for design of lever cross section, so this is the lever and there is a pin. You can see the pin and bush at A and F. Same diameter of bush and same diameter of pin is used at our A and F. Now when the design of lever cross section, in that we generally consider the failure is bending. Just if you look at that figure, the failure condition is given in that from on the top fiber of the lever you will find tension bending. At the lower fiber of the lever you will find compression. So when we say bending, so we know that bending is equal to m by z. So section modulus is tb square by 6. Just look at that particular lever cross section. You'll find that there is a base t and height b. So tb square by 6, b is 4t as per the standard given. Already it is given in our problem that p is equal to 4t. So t into 40 square divided by 6, so it becomes 16t cube by 6. When we think about the moment, so moment is equal to force multiplied by distance. Force here, the chances of maximum bending is up to the point A. So from A to F there is a direct support. So that's why the bending is possible at point C. So at point C means maximum bending moment we must take at point A. So 350 is the force effort which is kept, or the load which is kept at B. So that P multiplied by distance. Distance is 880 minus 80. So that much distance is sufficient to create a bending moment. So we are going to design that cross section near to the point A. So 350, 880 minus 80, the moment becomes 280 kilonewton mm. So just if you put that bending stress in our equation, so bending stress is equal to m by z. So just put the value of m and z, and the bending stress which is given as 70 safe value. So bending stress is tensile bending. So tensile stress is 70 given. So 280 kilonewton mm divided by z value 16 t cube by 6. From that we can get the safe value of that cross section t, 12 mm, and depth b is equal to 40. So it obviously it is 48 mm. So by this way we can find the dimensions of our lever cross section as well as pin dimension by considering crushing and shearing, and lever cross section by considering bending failure. So this completes our design of safety lever.